Welcome to our home. Today we want to take you guys on a ride down Splash Mountain, one of Disney World's park favorites. So today what we want to do is take you guys on a point of view ride on Splash Mountain when we rode it on our last vacation. And so while we're showing you guys the POV, we want you guys to also hear what we thought about the ride. So we're going to voice over the ride and then take you guys on the ride with us.
Yeah, like a ride commentary.
And hang around to the end because we'll give just a couple of minutes of information at the end that might help, you know, kind of like a ride review.
Yeah.
So right here is the beginning of the ride where we started going up. And I remember thinking, well, this isn't that big of a crawl, you know, the first time I rode it.
Yeah.
It's pretty big considering.
What's interesting,
You get splashed a lot.
yeah, a lot of times that water's splashing in on you.
I remember rocking in the water, thinking this was like a really calm ride at the moment.
Yeah.
Yeah, Cole doesn't ride it very.
Yeah, he's ridden it, but he doesn't like to ride it very much.
It's my favorite ride. So
I'm probably
I
gonna
ride it
ride it
almost
again.
every time.
Right. So you could see there where it splashed over onto right in front of our cart.
Yeah,
I
it
remember.
splashed us.
I remember on a previous time we rode it where the people right in front of us, it just drenched them.
And one time I remember the people behind us got drenched too.
And I was sitting in the front here, and I remember thinking, this water, I'm going to be eating this in my mouth. But you know, I didn't even get wet going up this whole slide right here. I mean, up this whole steep incline.
Well, I was just behind you, and
You got
I got a lot of water.
It's so funny when she rides. I love it when she rides.
And she gets wet a lot.
She gets wet every time.
It's like the water just finds me.
Right?
You like Moana, except the water wants to get you wet.
Right?
Yeah, if you don't know a lot about Splash Mountain, it's pretty calm up until the big
The big drop.
Yeah.
Other than
I
that,
come out
it's
of my
really
seat every time.
There's like a few small like Pirates of the Caribbean drops.
Yeah, very small
Very
drops.
small drops up to that last drop.
When you go on,
Even like Frozen, like the Frozen Ever After drop.
when you go on the big drop in the end, which is going to be coming up, there's a big drop in the end. I always come out of my seat that time.
I remember holding the camera, and it's hard to keep that camera still because when you're floating, you're just floating and it's banging into the side. And so it is quite difficult to hold that camera straight and still. You can tell every time the boat hits the side, I jostle that
That
camera.
shows how high you are.
Yeah.
Gives you good views of...
The first time I saw that, I was pretty terrified. But that's not even, I don't even think that's the apex, right? That's not even the highest you go.
One time
at
that moment, I watched a parade while we were going through that.
Now when we get to the big drop,
This
if
is
you
not the
guys,
big drop.
no, this is not it. But when we get to it, when you guys see it, if you look straight forward, you can see the castle. And when Cole and I dined with an Imagineer, he said from that picture is like the best shot of the fireworks to him. Because he was up there doing some work just above that. And he said the fireworks went off, and he said it was just amazing.
That's right, because he said he was poking out of I think he said the tree, right?
Yeah.
Now this ride kind of tells a story as you go through of the different scenes, and it's all about Brer Rabbit, and so it has there's a lot to look at while you're riding the ride.
Right.
So
Yeah. Sometimes you miss stuff because you're looking at so much.
yeah.
When you,
I know in an area around in a minute there's a whole big area. It's a whole bunch of water type thing. There's a whole bunch of stuff in there, and you can barely concentrate on anything.
right.
Yeah.
Well, you know, for me, I think the music and the different things to this ride, it's a little odd.
I think it all
the
puts
oddity
itself
of it, though.
together.
I actually think it's like very Disney-ish.
I remember this ride from when I was a kid. And, you know, I went to Disney the one time when I was a kid, and I remember this ride.
I didn't know that.
Was it
One of
your
the few
favorite
things
ride?
I remember. I remember meeting Mickey Mouse in front of the train station there, where the train's up above it. And then I remember this, and I remember my brothers getting on Space Mountain.
Yeah, yeah.
But I don't remember much else other than the train. I remember riding that train around. I remember some of the
And the
scenes
Jungle
from it.
Cruise.
Was
I
it
don't
your-
remember the Jungle Cruise from when I
Was
was
this
a
your
kid.
favorite ride when you were a kid?
I don't remember. I only went one day.
Not the Jungle Cruise, the Swiss Family Robinson.
That's it.
That's
yeah,
right.
I remember that.
I was thinking of the wrong thing. But like I was saying, I really think the oddity of this.
I was 5.
I think the oddity of the ride is like the best part to me. Maybe it's just the Disney touch to it.
I think we're about to come on another drop.
Yeah, this is the kind of like the Pirates
like
of
a
the
dark
Caribbean.
one.
Yeah, it's the second drop, and it's dark. So it, for some reason, whenever it's dark, it just makes the drop seem worse.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Even though it
agree.
won't even be that
And
bad.
in Space Mountain, it's like the same way to me. I don't really like Space Mountain, but I like a lot of the rides.
Here it goes,
Well, and
and it's dark now. So
yeah, now you can't see anything, but we're going whoosh,
yeah, there
and
we
there
go.
we just hit the bottom.
It's like Pirates of the Caribbean to me whenever I rode it.
You see
Although
a tiny
I feel
bit
like it
of
was
light.
slightly steeper.
This ride is a good ride when it's hot outside.
Yes.
And I don't think you're getting in there and it's going to be all nice and air conditioned, because it's really not.
Yeah.
But you get in out of the sun and then you get wet.
Yeah.
And so, I mean, it's a fantastic ride for that.
Yeah,
so if
it's
you're
a
going in
cool
the middle of summer, man, plan this baby in the middle of the day, right
Yeah.
after lunch.
Yeah.
You know.
I remember I didn't go on it and everyone else was real cool. I was like jealous.
Right. We were all soaking
We
wet
get
and you were
splashed
hot.
at this spot.
Yeah, you get a little splashed right there. That's exactly right. I remember getting wet right there. I remember thinking my camera stuff was going to get wet. So
Now this spot's kind of hard to see what's going on, but this is a little water area that I was talking about. There's so much going on, you don't know where to look, and you can't concentrate and stuff.
yeah.
And then this is where you go to the place that has all the signs that says like beware.
Yeah,
be
this is where you're getting
careful.
ready for the big drop.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's
I
where
remember
Brett
seeing that.
Fox gets Brer Rabbit.
That's right. We're coming up on the big steep incline, heading up for the drop.
Almost.
If you're worried about getting too wet, like cell phone wise, just while this is heading up that big incline, they hand out almost
Baggies.
every time little Ziploc baggies.
There's a
They don't
bag.
always.
They don't always, but a lot of the times. But,
And it's
Here's
slow
the big
incline,
drop.
by the way, but I sped it up for you guys.
oh, okay. Cole sped the incline up so that it
Oh,
get
yeah,
up
here
there
we go.
quick.
I always come out
And
to
see,
see
look at that
this.
castle view. Beautiful.
Beautiful.
There it goes.
And I'll say I was terrified the first time I saw it because I
I'm
saw Spaceship Earth from Adventureland, and I was just terrified.
Now the drop, the intensity of the drop, it's a pretty big drop.
I
It
come
is.
out of my seat every time.
Yeah.
But I
So-
love this ride.
I mean, I mean, I'm a super, like, I don't like a lot of, like, steep drops, so I don't ride Space Mountain, I don't ride Rock and Roller Coaster, I don't ride the Tower of Terror, but I'm kind of like a medium grade roller coaster kind of person, so I'll ride Seven Dwarf Mine Train, Slinky Dog Dash, I'll ride things like that, and this roller coaster well, it's not really a roller coaster, but this ride is really kind of in that.
Yeah, I mean,
in general,
it's
I
nothing
feel
to
like
be
it's in
so
the-
scared
I
of.
feel like it's in the middle
You
for
shouldn't
me,
ride it.
but you know.
Yeah.
Me,
All right, so thinking about that, since the video's over, let's ask these couple of questions. As far as intensity, name a ride that you would say it is close to the intensity of, so people can get a understanding. What do you guys say the intensity level is like? That way other people can get an idea if they've been there and ridden anything
it's
like
kind of got its own intensity. That's kind of like
Yeah.
no other
To
than
me-
I think it's higher than Seven Dwarf Mine Train.
yeah.
But to me,
But
I mean,
not-
I've never ridden Space
It's not
Mountain.
as hard as
but-
Space Mountain,
Yeah.
but it's higher intensity than Seven Dwarf Mine Train. If you can barely contain Seven Dwarf Mine Train or Big Thunder Mountain and stuff like that, then this ride's definitely not for you.
I would say it's about like Slinky Dog Dash, slightly above Slinky Dog Dash. You know that big?
I wouldn't say it's above it. I'd say it's probably pretty comparable to the big.
To me, I would say
I would say
it's pretty comparable to the Big Dip.
Yeah.
I would say it's about like any other log ride
Yeah.
that you would ever find in any other park. So if you've ridden a log ride anywhere else, it's basically the same thing.
Except it's
I mean,
got a bigger drop.
no, it doesn't really. Outside of the big drop, there is no intensity.
Yeah.
I mean, it is nothing.
Right.
And the big drop lasts for
Outside
about
of the-
3 seconds.
Yeah.
So to me, the intensity is less than Big Thunder. Of course, I think Mine Train the Seven Dwarf Mine Train is less than Big Thunder.
Yeah.
I mean, it doesn't shake you as hard. It doesn't move you around in your seat as much. And so for me, this is less than Big Thunder. But maybe if you're afraid of that big drop, it's worse than anything on Seven Dwarf or Big Thunder as far as the drop.
I don't think.
But it only lasts a second. Close your eyes. It'll be over. We hope you guys have a good time on your trip, and hopefully you can enjoy Splash Mountain just as much as we have. And we want to hear all about it, so comment and let us know. And until next time, from our house to yours.